Yo, 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 what is going on? Guys, welcome back again to another Super Saiyan video. I'm a little bit sick. I'm also a little bit bald. We had a conference last Saturday for cross country, and I bleached my hair and dyed my mustache, and it was not within Army regulations, so it is gone. So now your boy is a cue ball for a couple of days, weeks. My hair grows pretty fast, so shouldn't take long to get back. But we're gonna get right into this video. I'm gonna be talking about 5 tips to make yourself stand out within your ROTC battalion and to be successful and prepare yourself for cadet summer training this coming year for 2019. So let's get right into the video. Tip number 1 is to be a PT stud. And now that sounds a lot easier said than done, but let me break it up into something that's a little more manageable for you. Coming from the perspective of a runner, I'm going to tell you my personal story. I came into the ROTC program my freshman year of college at St. John's University, second semester, and I took my first APFT, Army Physical Fitness Test, that semester. And in order to pass that test, you need to meet a certain standard, and you're tested on 3 things. Your 2 minutes max on push-ups, sit-ups, and the 2-mile run. In order to pass, you need to get at least 42 push-ups and 49 sit-ups. And I remember for my first test, I got, I think, about 30 push-ups, 30 sit-ups, and I did fine on the run, obviously, as a runner. But that was a problem. In order to get a scholarship in ROTC and commission as an officer, you need to meet the standards and ideally exceed them in all facets. So what I did from there on out was I set a routine for myself to get better at what I was being tested on. What I personally did was I did a 2-minute max on push-ups and sit-ups every single day until I not only met the standard but well exceeded it. I think my best APFT score was about 370, just shy, 368. I got about 90 push-ups, 90 sit-ups, and I think maybe a 10-minute 2-mile. And how I got there was by practicing the conditions in which I was being tested. So if you think about running, for example, to get good at running a 5K, you need to practice running at 5K pace, right? So in order to get good at doing a 2-minute max on push-ups, you need to put yourself in the conditions to get good at doing 2 minutes worth of push-ups. So that's simply what I did. And with the new fitness test that is going to be coming soon, the Army Combat Fitness Test, or the ACFT, that is going to look a lot different for people who will not be commissioning this next summer, who will be commissioning and going to camp in 2020. So if that's the case, I might make another video in a year from now when the fitness test changes over. But for now, really make sure that you're putting the nail in the coffin on the APFT, because that is the standard that we're all held to as of right now. So to restate tip number 1, follow a consistent training plan that is built towards the Army's physical fitness standards that you are currently being held to. Tip number 2, listen, learn, and then teach. The entire purpose of being an ROTC and being an officer is always developing your leadership skills and passing on and developing other people below you, whether that be, like, let's say you get promoted to a captain and you're developing second lieutenants, or you're developing your privates, your E2s, 3s, 4s. The entire purpose of being an officer and being an ROTC is making other people into leaders. So whenever you're taught something in your Mills class, at a sticks lane, FTXs, make sure that once you've learned those things, you've listened, you've learned, you've practiced, that you go on and teach those same things to other classmates. One thing that I wish that had happened to me when I was in MS1, 2 was that some of the information from the upperclassmen, the 3s and 4s, had been passed down to me, because I felt like I didn't really understand fucking anything that was happening until I was in MS3. I would go pull security for sticks lanes and just lay in the dirt, and people would tell me where to go, and I would get nervous because I was like, fuck, I literally don't know what's happening. They just tell me point your rubber duck down that way, and I would do it, and then they go bang 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 and shit would start happening, and I'd just like, well fuck, I don't know. If you don't develop people, that's just what's gonna happen. When you learn something in Mills class, make sure that you concrete it within yourself and then go on to teach that same knowledge to other people. While doing that, not only are you developing the people below you, but you're making sure that you yourself understand that knowledge. And that's just gonna make you that much smarter of a cadet, and that's gonna make you that much better of a leader in the future. So to reiterate, point number 2 is to listen, learn, and teach. Make sure that everything that you learn, you concrete within yourself and teach it, because then you will never fucking forget it. Tip number 3, and this is probably one of the most important things that I wish I had done when I was younger, is befriend your cadre and ask them questions. I cannot stress this enough. Your cadre knows so much stuff. Honest to God. When I was in MS1 and 2, I would avoid cadre at all costs because they come off as intimidating. Most of them are infantry captains or NCOs, or they come from armor or engineer, and they come off really smart, and they know what they're talking about, and that can come off as intimidating, especially if you don't know Army knowledge or lingo, XYZ Army things. But step out of your comfort zone and go talk to them, because I guarantee you these people are cadre because they want to be cadre. They want to develop cadets into future second lieutenants, and they want to make you as good as you can possibly be. They are this vast dictionary and encyclopedia full of knowledge, full of tactics, full of experience. They've gone on multiple deployments. They've seen all the tactics and all of the things you learn in the classroom happen in real life. And they can tell you what works and what doesn't. So 100% guaranteed that they can figure something out a lot faster than you ever will. So take the time to go pick their brain, talk about the different things that you want to know about ROTC, whether it be tactics, whether it be what MOS or branch you want to end up getting into when you commission, different summer training opportunities outside of camp, for example, airborne, air assault, internship opportunities. You're not going to be able to figure any of this stuff out by yourself, so go out of your way to talk to your cadre, see what they have to say. A great example that I have, and one of the cadre that I've really connected with over the last year, was, his name's Captain Israel, and he got into the Army. He enlisted first, and he went in as an infantry enlisted guy, and he went on multiple deployments, worked his way through the ranks. He was a team leader for a little while, got bumped up to squad leader, and he decided to go over to the officer's side of the Army. And he continued up the branch of infantry, and he has become so desensitized and so acclimated to the adrenaline rush, the pressure, the high intensity of infantry tactics and knowledge, that it's just second nature to him. Like he has it all figured out to a T. And when I was at MS3, I struggled quite a fair amount my first semester, because I just didn't understand anything. I didn't go out of my way to really try and talk to my cadre or my classmates, or really catch myself up as much as I knew I should have. And because of that, I struggled. And had I not reached out to Captain Israel my first semester of my MS3 year, I would have just been lost in the sauce forever. I would have never gotten it. I would have never moved on to my MS4 year as well as I have now, and I know for a fact I wouldn't be where I am. So tip number 3, and very important, is to befriend your cadre and pick their brains for as much knowledge as you possibly can. Tip number 4, exercise integrity and make friends within your battalion. And this might seem like a silly thing to say, because it should just come as second nature, but all of the Army, outside of ROTC, the Army as a whole is about how well you can communicate and interact with people. I don't want to say that the Army is a popularity contest, but a large part of military work is relationships and communication, and how you can get people to want to do intrinsically what you need them to do. So let's say that you have 2 officers, one of which is a do don't ask questions kind of leader, and the other one has befriended all of his lower enlisted guys, his NCOs, his officers that he works with, and he needs the same task and purpose to get done. I 100% guarantee you that the second officer is going to have a much easier time not only getting promoted, working his way up through the chain of command, but also getting the mission done and getting everything that he needs finished for whatever task and purpose he has set out for him. As a rule, you should 100% exercise integrity. To reiterate, exercise integrity and befriend everybody in your battalion. be a good communicator, learn good relationship skills, and make friends. Honestly, some of my really good relationships have come from ROTC, suffering out in sticks lanes in the cold weather, no sleep, just really suffering and struggling together, and that's something that you can't make up. So put yourself in those situations and make good friends. My fifth and final tip is don't be afraid to fail. Captain Israel, as I mentioned earlier, was a cadre that I spoke to a lot, and something that he always said about the Army is the best way to learn is through repetition and trauma. And that sounds pretty scary, but once you come to the realization that a lot of the Army and the way that you learn is through those means, it becomes much, much easier. So sticks lanes, typically when you're putting in different leadership positions like squad leader, platoon sergeant, you're gonna fail. You're gonna mess up something because you're gonna get antsy, you're gonna get nervous, you're gonna make mistakes because adrenaline's rushing through your veins, and that's just something you have to accept. And once you can learn to cope with those emotions and hormones and conditions and accept the fact that you're going to fail, you're going to set yourself up much, much more for success. A great example that I have is I went in as my first sticks lane as platoon leader. There was a platoon defense, and I remember that I was depending so much on my lower guys, like my squad leaders, my platoon sergeant, my RTO, for advice and for knowledge, that I didn't even trust my own thoughts and my own skills that I had learned in the classroom. And because of that, I made decisions. I couldn't make decisions on the fly like I really needed to in order to get that mission complete. At the end of the day, it got done, but mostly because of the people around me that helped. And it was solely because I was afraid to fail. I was afraid that my idea wouldn't work, and that because of whatever choice I decided to make, the entire platoon would have to suffer because of it. So the greatest advice that I can give for that piece of things is don't be afraid to fail. The fifth tip, to reiterate, is don't be afraid to fail. You need to put yourself in shoes to fail. You need to fail. You learn from failure, you really do. The most growth happens not when everything goes your way, but when you have to struggle and overcome struggle. So be able to put yourself in shoes where you have to hurt a little bit. You have to learn. You have to make mistakes. Otherwise, that's all I got. If you have any other questions about ROTC, I haven't talked about it much on my channel, but it's something that I really enjoy. I'm in MS4 this year. I've learned lots, but I still have lots to learn. If you have questions, I'll hook you up with the answers. If I don't know them, I'll figure it out and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, have a good one. Peace out. Come back to the channel sometime. Out.